hate to bring it up to you, buddy, but how about them Colts? How about them Colts?
Oh man.
Did
Yeah,
you
for
watch
sure.
the
Yeah, we
game?
do.
Did you watch the game on television?
I did until the third quarter, or not
Did
third
you
quarter, fourth
did you
quarter.
see the clowns? Did you see the clowns in attendance?
The clowns?
You ever heard about that?
No,
Oh my
enlighten me,
gosh.
please.
Oh my
Enlighten me,
gosh.
please.
All right. Let's pull up here. Let's get Safari.
I heard about some other stuff in the wild card games. I did not hear about this.
Yes. So yeah, time for a Kit Kat bar. We're sponsored, not sponsored by Kit Kat. But you like Kit Kats, Kev?
He doesn't have the ad blocker on.
No, because
Doesn't have the ad blocker on.
we're a fan of. I
we're
support
playing
Kit
rules
Kat.
right now.
I support Kit Kat. Do you support Kit Kat?
All right, yeah, whatever. Of course. Kit Kat, if you're watching,
Shoot me a
probably should
message.
put our early emails in the description.
I got you.
Oh,
So,
jeez.
but
Oh
literally,
man. Oh yeah. Wait, hold on. My lord, what a game, man.
So the
Ugh.
Colts, this was their only way into the playoffs. They had to win. They had to have
Yep.
won.
They had
And
to.
they're going against the
And-
worst team in the NFL. The
Yeah,
worst team
I
in the
was saying,
NFL.
yeah, we were playing. It was basically like on paper a giveaway game. Like
100%.
yeah. I mean, we got away with taking a loss like the last week, and this was just gonna. We looked at this game like it's gonna be easy win. We're gonna get in, and like I can speak on behalf of Colts fans in Indiana. We thought we had a chance at the Super Bowl this year.
Everybody did.
Just
Like,
because.
I don't think people
Honestly.
realized this was a playing game. Like, everybody was writing him in as a Super Bowl contender because of Jonathan Taylor and Carson Wentz, who didn't turn the ball over all season until today, until that game against the Colts. And
Right,
Jaguars
yeah,
game.
until this game.
Yep.
Until this game,
Kevin, to
man.
let you know, he had a QBR like 4.4. In elite, like the best QBR is 100. Average is 50. He had a 4.4 QBR. Like that has to be one of the lowest QBRs reported ever. But so you see my mouse down here, Kev? You see my mouse down here? Circling that. Can you see that?
Yes, I can.
That is a clown from early in the game. But everybody was showing up as clowns to the stadium. You can see some down here again. Yes, everybody. It was clowns out. And then somebody for the Jacksonville Jaguars, like a fan, paid for like a helicopter to fly over the stadium that said like Clown Town over the stadium as they're beating the Colts. Not only beating the Colts, but whipping the Colts. Like absolutely dominating every aspect of this ball game.
It was not even close. It wasn't close at all.
No,
like Carson Wentz did not show up this game. I just don't know what happened.
I don't know, but
like you said, like it's just we thought that the Colts were like Super Bowl contenders just because Carson Wentz was producing good stats and good games.
He was back to like Philadelphia Carson Wentz.
Just like what happened, man?
Yeah. So
right. For real.
And you have an MVP contending running back back there. Like if the MVP wasn't really a quarterback award, it's going to Jonathan Taylor. But he'll get AFC running back of the year, But you had probably like one of the best players in football. So you just turn around and give him 35, 40 touches and just have him ice that ball game behind the best offensive line and probably in football. And the Colts had like 7 or 10 Pro Bowlers. Like they had some big time guys out there. Just couldn't put it together.
It's a fair statement.
Yeah, we'll say, but
hey, I totally
here's another
agree.
one. Here's another clown. So,
man, just seeing this, I feel like they just showed up to the game knowing that maybe it's just we just totally underestimated it. We just thought it was a throwaway game, and then that's just like something that shouldn't happen, you know?
Yeah, I would say a throwaway game. That's your playing game for the playoffs. Like if you have to win.
Right.
Like
And maybe
that
they
should be
saw
a
it more
game.
as a throwaway.
I know, like that's a game you have to be gearing up for. Like that's like, you know, week 18, you've played 16 games. Like this is it. Like for everything, you
Right.
gotta you gotta go all in, and they just did not. But oh,
You
safe to say, you know, Michael DeRocca reported that they did take off their clown hats and wigs for the national anthem. So we can
know,
appreciate that. Good American citizens right there.
hey, respect the Jaguars fans. Respect
Yeah,
Jacksonville, honestly. Respect
literally though.
Jackson.
Yeah, it's that's a tough sight to see. That is
It's
a
tough. It's tough.
tough sight to
But
see.
you saying week 18 brings me to another thing. What do you think about, extending and setting like the NFL season just in a whole?
Yeah,
And having the number one seed.
I don't know. It's
What's your
nice to
opinion on
see.
that? I just want
Yeah, it's nice to see. I mean, NFL, it's a business. They want to make more money. So, but so that's
right,
part of it. You
right.
want to see more money come into players. So you always be happy about that, because oftentimes NFL owners are just, and all owners, MLB is in a lockout right now, and I guarantee you'd even know that. Like, so like 90% of the U.S.
Honestly,
population.
not catching.
Yeah, like literally 90% of the U.S.
Did not
population that cares about sports did not know the MLB was in a lockout, and the NFL was in a lockout before because they weren't getting enough of the revenue share. So now they're
Hey,
getting that. So I'm happy to see that. Pro player guy. It's nice to see these guys getting their money.
yeah.
And hopefully, with a couple extra games, in the year, maybe tickets go down, ticket prices go down, but we can count on that not to happen.
I don't know.
But
I mean, some people might see it as a way, as the NFL just trying to bring in more money. And I mean, you're right. It is a business. It is a business. At the end of the day, they're trying to make as much money as possible. But I think if we look at the games that happened this past weekend, it's just like, what's the point? Other than the Bengals Raiders game, which you were at, actually.
Yes, cool. It was. That was insane. It was insane.
It's just the number 2 team against the number 7 every time was just a complete blowout.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see, because you want to see competitive balance.
Yeah,
no one wants to tune in to watch the Buffalo Bills annihilate the Patriots, and no one saw that coming. Nobody saw it coming. It's Bill Belichick. I'm a Bills fan, and I was praying to not get the Patriots because I'm scared of Bill Belichick. That's what it was. But the Bills just got hot, dildos getting thrown on the field by the fans, just classic Buffalo, man.
Oh man, that is another thing too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, man, I'll pull it up. Not only to add to the insane score line, but
oh man, you're gonna have to wipe that off the search history, man.
Hey, research purposes only. Research purposes only here. But
fair enough.
What's crazy is, so I got my tickets for the Bengals game, out in the mezzanine for $150. Up until Friday afternoon, Friday night, tickets to the Bills Patriots games, you could buy tickets for $30. You can buy tickets for $30.
Really?
Yep, and you can get into the lower bowl, level 100s for $80, $90. It's insane.
Oh my,
it's unreal.
That's crazy.
But I was reading,
that's unreal.
So
unreal.
Yeah,
unheard of.
I agree. Even a regular season game, but I guess you can credit COVID to that one, because with all the new guidelines and stuff, apparently about 20% of the fans, season ticket holders for the Buffalo Bills, live in Canada. So Canada shut its border down, not shut it down, but made it a little tighter. So if you left the country for non-essential travel, you had to get tested. So you had to get a PCR test. So you're trapped in Buffalo for a couple of days, 4 or 5 days probably, just to go watch the game. So everybody was selling their tickets for super cheap. But, Taylor Twellman tweeting out here, Bills Mafia. You can see the score line 33-3. It's an ugly game. This play actually here, I'm pretty sure made it 33-10. I think Pat's got a touchdown on that play. Kendrick Moore getting a reception there.
Yeah.
But Bills Mafia showing strong right there. Man. But as a fan of a team in the AFC, I'm scared to go to Buffalo. I am scared to go to Buffalo after that game.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, if they play like that, just continuously throughout the playoffs,
just ride them in.
Honestly, I'm just saying, you got to be careful, man. You got to be careful because, I mean, it's safe to say no one saw that coming, or not a lot of people saw that coming.
No, I mean it's they played earlier in the regular season. They split 1-1, so it's tough to beat a team twice. But the Bills made it look easy.
Yeah,
it's
no, they did.
I mean, you can kind of call that first game. You can call that first game between the two a wash a bit because of the crazy weather. That was the game where they had like the 50, 60 mile an hour winds.
Yes,
so that's what like Mac Jones went through the ball like 3 times. But it's going to Buffalo. You have to think if decent enough weather like that, and they can still go and score like that and throw the ball around like that. You got to hope as an away team that the weather is absolutely terrible. You got to hope you have a strong run game. But unfortunately, there are no true, real strong run games left. Like, if the AFC were to run through Buffalo, it means the Titans have to get knocked out. So, I mean, that loses Derrick Henry. Then the next best running back would be Joe Mixon, maybe? Like, I'm not knocking Joe Mixon. I'm a Bengals fan. I think the guy's great. But the Bengals offensive line is what's going to screw us, if that were to happen.
For sure.
But you have to see Kansas City lose too. But I think Kansas City, like in the AFC, like it's gonna be in my opinion, I think the Bengals are gonna knock off the Titans this week. But I think it's gonna be like, I'm glad to see as a Bengals fan seeing that Bills Chiefs matchup, because both those teams are gonna go after each other. I mean, I think that arguably, like, you could argue that's the AFC Championship, real. Like, because you can see, because whoever wins that matchup, my prediction, they're gonna be heavily favored when they match up against whoever wins that Titans-Bengals game.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna say, as 2 college athletes, we can't gamble, but my gambling advice right now, I say the Bills are hot. The Bills are hot, in my opinion. I think the Bills are gonna get out. Man. It's gonna be the Bills getting out, or potentially the Bengals. And the only way the Bengals get the Bills, if they match up, is bad weather, I think. But if there's decent weather, that game will be an absolute shootout.
Hey, man, weather's part of the game. Weather's part of the game, and we saw that for sure.
100%. I would say you had the best weather spot right now in the AFC is Nashville, and I don't think Nashville is going to be in it much longer.
Oh no, no.
Because you got Kansas City, so even say the weather is good. Kansas City, like,
man,
the stadium itself, Arrowhead, is going to be so loud for any opposing team that goes there.
I mean, that's what you have these teams, just in the great Midwest, as we like to say. Mm-hmm. And I mean, disadvantage or advantage, I mean, you have to play the weather. So
100%. And
I mean, it's part of the game.
Agreed. And what's strange is, the NFL is changing so much. Take away these AFC teams, everybody, the old saying is, the run game travels. A run game travels to the playoffs. It's tough to air it out in the wintertime in the AFC because it's cold. The balls are hot, hard and frozen up and everything. And your hands are just cold. But what we're seeing now is, you can argue 3 of the 4 teams left in the AFC are all pass dominant teams. And the only team that you could argue is like run dominant is the Titans. And you could maybe look at the Bills and say, okay, they maybe run the ball a little bit, but their main thing, they like those big time plays, letting Josh Allen get out and use his arm. I mean, so if there is bad weather, no matter home or away teams, you can see the Bills kind of making that push because they have the best running game, and I think they're the most dominant defense in the AFC. left in the playoffs.
For sure.
But I'm gonna say let's
for sure.
Who you like coming out of the NFC side of the playoff picture?
Let's
Who
see.
you liking so far? Because we got the Rams Cardinals game on right now still, but how are you feeling about the NFC?
I'm gonna definitely pull up the. Oh, you got it pulled up. Let's see.
We got. So this past weekend, that 49ers Cowboys game, man,
Oh yeah.
Man, I feel for the Cowboys. I feel for them. I feel for Cowboys and the fans and everything. But your guys' clock management sucks. Like, it's terrible. Like, I think any 13-year-old kid who's picked up the sticks before could manage the clock better than Mike McCarthy. Just throwing it out there. You know, that might be my hot take. That might be my first hot take and turn into Skip Bayless, I guess. But that's my thinking, man. A 13-year-old who's ever picked up the sticks and Madden can control the clock better than Mike McCarthy.
Wow.
Like,
somebody quote this man.
I feel for him though. Man. Because they come down like that. Like, they had that fake punt and they got it. And they tried to go for it, but then the umpire had touched the ball on that play. And then they ended up having to kind of audible out of it and just switch lineups because they still have their special teams. So they got fourth down and they kept the special teams out there trying to get San Francisco to burn a timeout. And then they probably had I'd imagine since they ran them out there, they had another trick play. You know, they had something drawn up that they were going to go to, whether that was just a little fullback dive or something, you know. But and then the ref went in there and killed it because they're going to go snap it really fast. And then down to the end of the game, I mean, I'm sure everybody's seen it now. The umpire trucks Dak Prescott, you know, trying to get to the ball. And he spikes it with 0 seconds left. It's just really unfortunate because
it is. And it's just, I think, in my opinion at least, it's another example of just like ref football that's going on. Like the refs are just not calling the right calls and on plays, and it just, and you can see it too. It affects like the play as a whole and the game. And
100%.
I mean, the next thing is once they make the mistake, we're gonna see it. We see it, but I mean, one shot at it, and it sucks to say, but they're probably never gonna ref like an NFL game again.
Yeah, or in playoff games, like it's tough. These playoff referees are supposed to be like the best of the best in the NFL.
Right.
And we're seeing screw-ups everywhere. Like 49ers Cowboys game. And I was at the Bengals and Raiders game. And the refs were hammering both teams, missing calls and everything. Like it's unreal. Like one play in an NFL game can change so much. Like, you know, we're just guessing. We're guessing, like, you know, say that spike gets down. Like, what if? The Cowboys are within 30 yards, you know. They can just run verticals, you know, just everybody run to the end zone, run around and see if something happens. Or in the Bengals game, you know, Raiders fans can argue they kind of got screwed. Joe Burrow threw a pass in the back of the end zone, but the ref blew the whistle and then they pretended like, oh, it just didn't happen. And the Raiders and the Bengals also, you know, the Raiders extended a couple drives and got points off of some really rough calls, like pass interference calls on a ball that's sailing out of bounds. Like, it's as two college athletes, two college soccer players, and we can see like refs have a dominant impact in all of sport. As a fan, you never want to see that. Whether you're playing on the field in your sport, you're watching, you never want to see a ref's impact determine the game. You know, you want the ref to suck equally both ways, or just to be non-existent. Like at some point, you're better off not throwing a flag out there at all. Like,
and I like the way you said it, non-existent, because sometimes, you know, that's the best type of game that's being played.
Yeah, I'm saying these are grown men, you know.
Yeah.
And they play football all their lives, you know. They can get away with it. There's sometimes some egregious penalties, like you got to call the targetings, you got to call on that. But like some of these knick-knack holding calls too, like there's holding on every play in the NFL. I didn't play football, you know. I wasn't a lineman growing up. I played quarterback when I was a little bit younger and I kicked in high school, but I've been an avid football fan my whole life. And everybody knows that. There's holding on every single play. There's a flag on every play. So if you really wanted to, you can throw a flag out there for any single time. Like, this is playoff football. You just got to let the game go sometimes. Like, let them be physical. Let them get after each other, and they'll play with it. Because sometimes you get these guys looking for calls because they're accustomed to it, or they got the name, like, I'm big time, I'm a big timer, and like Darren Waller, he got that pass interference call with the Raiders, and he stopped his route and just stared over at the referee, like, give me my flag, like, just give me my flag. And I'm like, you stop playing, like, the ball wasn't even catchable, like, at least make an effort,
It's just like, it's also like, even specifically talking about that play, it's hard to believe that a professional player just stopped his route and let that happen. It's a little like, it's a little like baffling to me, honestly.
Agreed.
And he just like have like the conscience just like stop and just let that happen. Even though, I mean, we've been taught as like kids, just like, play until the play is over,
Yeah, play to the whistle.
Honestly.
Like, that's all sports, basketball, soccer, like, you know what I mean? Like, basketball, you're gonna go for the and one if you get hacked on a layup. Like, you're gonna go for it, and if you get like, what happens, like, Darren Waller, he doesn't get the flag. Like, this is a playoff game. The Raiders were down. You're playing for your life.
Right.
Like, you're just instilling this, like, into these players' brains that, like, they deserve the flag. I'm like, I get it. Like, sometimes there are flags and guys will stop the route because it's like egregious. Like, I get it. Sometimes that happens, but play through it. See if you can make a play out of it.
Circumstances for sure.
Like, especially
and
regular season, get away with it.
Like, right.
Yeah, it was the regular season. You get away with it.
It was so unfortunate to see, and it was so unfortunate to see. Like, you look at that call and you're just like, it's just so unfortunate to see, like, just, I don't know, just how the play like ran out or whatever. I don't know. It just sucks to see how much I don't know. Yeah, I think you know what I'm trying to say, but
yeah, no, I get you. It's just like, football is a physical contact sport. Like, you gotta get used to, you gotta roll with the punches sometimes, man. Whether it's football, life, sports, it's everything. You gotta kind of learn with that. But Bengals won at the end of the day, and let me tell you, Cincinnati was absolutely electric. Like, I lost my voice screaming. It was yeah, I say, and in pure Bengals fashion too, man. They got up big early, they were dominating the ball game, and then Raiders start coming back, and then Raiders get a drive, under a minute left. Zach Taylor's questionable play calling, man. He almost lost him the game. He almost lost him that Chiefs game to get him into the playoffs anyway, and they won the division. So it's gonna be interesting to see, because everybody has mixed reviews on him. He got the job done, but coming down to the 1 yard line for the Raiders, like, basically as time expires, like, I'm sitting there in the stands and I'm thinking, only the Bengals, Raiders, Derek Carr is going to roll out. Derek Carr's clutch. He's going to zip one into the end zone. They'll kick the field goal, tie the ball game, and then they'll win the coin toss, drive down, score again. And the Bengals make it 31 plus years, but I'm glad to see it happen. This has been a great season for the Bengals. They can have an absolute dynasty rolling.
Sure.
I think what's going to be interesting.
I'm rooting for the Bengals, honestly.
Yeah, me too, man. I want to see the Colts get back after it too. I think there could be 4 dominant teams in the AFC for probably the next 10, 15 years. You got the Colts, the Bills, Bengals, Chiefs, and you can even throw in the Ravens at 5, Like, those are 5 good teams that are unreal. They all got young quarterbacks that are great. They got weapons. And what's wild to me is the Bengals, all their guys are like under 25. Like, they're almost our age, Kevin. Like, we're almost their age. We're almost their age.
I didn't even know that. That's crazy, honestly.
Like
That's
Joe
impressive
Mixon,
as well. Oh my god.
agreed. Joe Mixon is the oldest guy out of that group. T.
How
Higgins
old is
was playing at Joe Mixon. I'm pretty sure he's 25. Let me look.
he?
Maybe 26.
Yeah, 5 years in this. 5 years.
He's 25. Yep. Then you got Burrow. You got Higgins
Oh,
and
really?
Chase. Like they're young. They're young everywhere. And what's even more unreal about Joe Burrow, in my opinion, and so we'll get off the Bengals here in a second, but Joe Burrow has the highest QBR by Pro Football Focus, and he is the most pressures and the most sacks of any quarterback in the NFL this year because the Bengals offensive line is that garbage, and he's performed at that level. It's impressive, but
Very.
we'll get to the Colts now. How do you think? What if you are the GM?
Oh
If
boy.
you're Chris Ballard,
I saw
what
this
do you
question
do?
coming.
Who's the quarterback do you go after? Do you keep Carson Wentz? Do you go draft somebody? Do you go after a big time free agent, or a vet and see
Yeah,
if you can get it?
for
Because
sure.
they didn't guarantee Carson Wentz after that game. Last year with Philip Rivers, they said we would love to have Philip Rivers as our quarterback, and then obviously Philip Rivers retires, goes down
Mhm.
coaching high school ball. But what would you do? What do you want to see happen if you're the GM?
I'm looking at his contract right now,
Because
and
it's a big one. It's one that's tough to move.
I remember hearing about this, but yeah, he looks like he's signed on for about 4 years. It looks like. Man, you looking the same thing I am?
Yeah, looking at Spotrac.
Oh my!
So he signed a 4-year, $128 million deal. At the
4
time
years.
he signed that, I'd say he was worth every penny because he was playing elite MVP level ball.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
Unfortunately, he's been injury riddled a little bit.
A little bit,
so,
yeah, for sure.
So the thing is, 2022, so next coming season, if they cut him, they got $15 million in dead cap. So that means, say salary cap's $100 million. It's not 100 million. I forget the exact total, but that's $15 million that they can't spend on anybody. They just have to hand that to Carson Wentz. That's guaranteed to him, basically.
Yeah.
But then you got 23, 24, and 25 where he's gone. So do you hold on to him for another year and keep a Band-Aid on it? Or do you maybe try and go after somebody or maybe move him and hope somebody bites?
I honestly saw this question coming, so I was honestly thinking about it, and my first thoughts were get him out, and honestly try to find like another player like Andrew Luck because
I agree, man.
Well, we lucked out in the draft that year.
You guys could have really a run.
Really like a staple player that could, run like both sides of the game, and
literally he was the franchise.
He was the franchise and the face of the team. But now I think, I mean, if this is, and like the thing that sucks is that a lot of these things are based on like what ifs,
Of course.
And I think if this is a big if Carson Wentz plays like he did in the regular season, especially the second half of that regular season, I mean, I could totally see him being, that staple, QB, and
100%. He had flashes of it. He
did.
Like there were times where everybody thought like he might be back to that MVP form. Like the Colts with their roster, they have said it. You don't need a completely unreal like top flight quarterback. You don't need a Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers. You need a guy that's kind of like average. You don't want an average guy, but you don't need one of those top 5 guys. You need someone who's consistent, who's like a top 15 to 10 guy. You know,
Yeah,
and if you can get anything else, oh my gosh, that's just a major bonus. But if you can get Carson Wentz or whoever you go after play like top 15 quarterback ball, like that's what you need because the Colts they're young, they draft well,
yeah,
and they got Jonathan Taylor who's only going to keep improving. You know,
right. Yeah, and yeah, I mean, I just hate to see us, bail out on Carson Wentz and try to bank on, like a big name player, like a big name free agent, or
mm-hmm.
even like a good like draft pick,
Mm-hmm.
and see that go to waste,
For sure.
because it's happened
It's
before. It's
tough.
happened before. So it's just I
I'm
just hate
saying
to
you
see
know
his
what you're getting with him. You know you're
yeah.
going to get with Carson Wentz to a degree, and with the draft
Yeah.
coming up, it is a tough year to be a
Mhm.
GM or a head coach in the NFL, and you need a quarterback because there's not much. Like
No.
everybody's projecting, like Mel Kiper, all these guys, Trent Dilfer, with all the mock drafts and stuff. Like there's everybody every year there's like, oh, like everybody's a bust. Like everybody Mel Kiper thought Patrick Mahomes was a bust. Like, and he is the best quarterback in the league, you can argue right now. So I mean,
Right.
there's
Yeah.
always gonna be somebody that develops or somebody who comes up, whether it's a first rounder, seventh rounder, somewhere in between. There's gonna be somebody, out of the class that steps up. But it's gonna be really interesting
Mhm.
to see because there's not like that clear cut guy, you know. In the past drafts, where there's been Joe Burrow,
Yeah.
Justin Herbert, and Tua. Everybody knocks Tua, but he's been
Mhm.
starting ball games. Those are guys you can just you draft them and you insert them into the lineup. And in my opinion, I don't know if there's a lot of guys you can
Yeah.
do that with.
Yeah.
It's
For sure.
like they're definitely like they're guys you can draft, that you could obviously, just plug and place. But what the Colts are wanting, they want to contend. They're a contending
Yeah.
team. So you need someone that's gonna be able to get them over the hump, or guide them as close and maybe somebody else can do it. Maybe you have Darius Leonard step up big next year.
Right.
Jonathan Taylor continues to play high. Just something has to happen, but
Mhm.
you need a guy. Like
Mhm.
if somehow a big time
Hey,
free
man.
agent comes available, the Colts need to sell out, in my opinion,
We
to
need
to
honestly.
get them.
Yeah.
But that's the
Here.
tough thing, who will come available and who will sell out, and they're gonna have to give up a lot because everybody's gonna want them. Pittsburgh's gonna be looking for a quarterback. You can argue the Panthers might be looking for somebody. There's a lot
Yeah.
of
Right.
question marks. The Broncos as
Yeah.
well.
And
There's a lot of
they,
question marks
yeah.
out there. So
Yeah.
whoever's available, it's just
Very
going to
true.
become a bidding war. And I hate to say it, the Colts aren't really a team that is in the past. Things might change next year, but they're not a team that's throughout history like, here's all of our draft picks like the Rams. Like the Rams, they don't care about the draft. Like they will give up every single first round pick they got, and they did that to get Matthew Stafford, and they did the same with Jalen Ramsey. So there are teams that would do that. And the Colts just aren't one of those teams.
Yeah, and I think it's just like I think it's just a fair thing to say for even the Bengals or even like especially the Colts. It's just it's not like a desirable team to go to
Yeah,
because
like
we
it's
just don't
not like
have
the
that.
big market.
Yeah, we just have that like rich history of like winning championships or like I don't know, just
Mm-hmm.
I think we have definitely an underrated like crowd or like energy to our
Mm-hmm.
stadiums, but like no one's gonna look at Indianapolis and be like, oh, that's
Yeah,
my dream, you know what I mean? Like
yeah.
that's where I
I
want
would
to be
say
from.
like for sure. I say people they're gonna want to go to those storied franchises or the big markets. And like I hate to bring up Andrew Luck, but he was one of those guys like who has been groomed to be in the NFL since day one. And he's one of those guys who was all about ball, and that works. And that's the tough part. You're gonna have to find a guy that is all about ball
You
to be the
did.
quarterback for the Indianapolis Colts. And it's tough to come by. It's tough to come by
Yeah.
players, especially the quarterback position. Who are elite like that and all about ball. Where and that you can get them because these guys are locked up. Good quarterbacks are a dime a dozen. You know, and
Yeah.
they're gonna need something. And it's tough to see what the next move is because you can go with what you know, and that's Carson Wentz and Frank Reich because they coached together, they Frank Wright's coached him so long, they know each other, and you had that safe bet there. But it's kind of a similar situation we saw the Falcons dealing with Matt Ryan. They could have drafted somebody earlier, keep Matt Ryan. And the tough part is Matt Ryan and Carson Wentz both have huge contracts. So you can't really move them. So you kind of the Colts are they're stuck between a rock and a hard place here.
Yeah.
You know?
I think honestly it could work in our favor. I think if we develop the game we want to play with the players we have and keep Carson Wentz in our QB position, I could totally see positive things coming in the next season. And if we continue to develop that that chemistry in the game that we want to play, I mean you said it best, man. We're definitely going to be up there with our conference.
I'll say they're a contending team, and it's tough to see what's going to happen with it. If I were to put myself in the shoes of being GM of the Indianapolis Colts right now, I'd say you keep Carson Wentz because you don't know what else is out there.
You don't.
And if you can land a home run deal with somebody, then you do it. I mean, winning is everything right now. And that team is in a win now position. They have a future. Don't get me wrong. The Buccaneers, completely win now situation. You have Tom Brady. You don't know how many years you got. You have a smaller window. The Colts have a bigger window, but you want to be able to compete and get those victories. You want to get back to it because they could have went on a run very similar to the Packers, where you get Brett Favre, Peyton Manning, and they stay together forever.
A person that we both know, I saw when we went to Miami, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess this person had a reputation of just going by themselves. And I don't know if you remember this, but early in the year, one of our friends just got asked at 3 a.m. to go over there and pick her up.
Right? Yeah.
And I mean, I knew about that, and I didn't really think anything of it until I was actually there, and I saw them, and I was like, okay, this is kind of weird, but I'll say hi or whatever.
Yeah, gotta be nice. Gotta be nice.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably the nice thing to do. So,
of course,
always. I mean, no, yeah, no. I mean, yeah, with a group of friends, so we all say hi or whatever, and I mean, it's kind of chill. And I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but she she gives me a beverage that she just brought in, and she wants to take it with me. And so I'm like, okay, whatever, sure, because I mean, I'm not gonna say no.
Yeah.
And so I do that, and I don't see them after that, but all of a sudden, it's 20 minutes later or whatever, I see her maybe 3-4 feet away, just absolutely making out with some random ass dude. And I'm like, okay, do your thing.
Hey,
And
go after it. It's a college.
Yeah,
it's college.
Sure. I mean, yeah. 10 minutes later.
Not COVID though. Definitely not COVID times.
Yeah. No, this is in a all masked, all vaccinated, 6 feet apart.
Always.
Very safe. But always. Yeah, the 10 minutes later, I see her some other guy, and I'm like, holy crap, this makes a lot more sense now. This is what's going on. Okay.
The story lives real. It rings true.
I hate to say it, but I know her intentions now. I think she just wants to spend the night at someone else's place, you know what I mean?
Just wants to get away from EC.
Right, yeah. Huh? I mean, you're 40 minutes away. What are you gonna do? Walk back home?
I mean, it's a valid option. No, you gotta find something. It's that or drop $50 on an Uber. So I think she's gonna run her
Or
chances.
I mean, or you can call up one of your friends at 3 a.m.
That too.
and say, "Hey,
Or hey,
hey, can
even
you
better,
drive home from
personal
work?"
show for Kevin. Personal show for Kevin. You got Kevin Jin on your side.
Yeah,
You have Nationwide's on your side, and then you got Kevin Jin on your side.
man, I tell you, on a weekend night, you either want me or Tyler by your side.
Always, always. You'd always count on us. Yeah, man.
I can say for myself a little less reliable, but Tyler for sure.
R.A. Tyler right here, baby. R.A. Tyler. Yeah.
I was
Oh,
probably
man.
in the room doing a bathroom check. So
Yeah. R.A. bathroom check. And then you walk in on Nathan, just taking a shower, refusing to say anything. He talking his Donald Duck voice. But we'll get Nathan on here and do his Donald Duck voice one day.
oh my.
We'll have Donald Duck on the pod. We'll interview Donald Duck.
Another thing I hate. You know another thing I hate?
What?
How long this break is.
How long what?
How long this break is.
Agreed.
I haven't seen you or anyone, like basically anyone from the school in almost 2 months.
Before Thanksgiving.
That's insane.
Yeah. I was saying, for those of you guys who don't know, our school takes an excessive long winter break the last 2 years. So we spend 3 weeks at home by ourselves, no other college friends. And they come back and they're here for like 2 or 3 weeks, and then they go back and we're still here for another 3 weeks on the back end of it. Just kicking it, I guess. So I guess, courtesy of our own college, we're doing this over Zoom right now, I guess. But man, it's unreal.
Give us 2 weeks, is it? 2 weeks.
Weeks. I get in between 25th.
2 weeks, we'll be back. We'll be back.
I know, man. And back in real life, back on campus, coming up with some more great stories, man. We'll have like a weekend update. Well, the weekend update, we'll talk about the weekends, talk about what we did, what's going on.
Yeah.
And then we'll get to the sports, of course,
But, yeah. The more important stuff, I guess.
Obviously, what's gonna get clicks, clickbait,
Yeah.
Clickbait, crazy weekend.
Hey, I mean, we gotta get the clickbait in somehow. I can do some crazy stuff if you want me to.
We gotta get the views, First guest on pod goes crazy.
Gots get the views up.
Always, it's great.
What did you find yourself doing, like, when your friends weren't here, bro? Like,
working ball, man. Worked at UPS, just living the dream that every 19-year-old kid's doing, throwing boxes on a rich man's doorstep, and playing some ball, kicking it around, getting some workouts in, hitting some PRs in the gym. What about you, Mr. Crew Car Wash?
Yeah, I mean, I gotta say the same, man. It's a lot of work, man. A lot of work. I mean, but the thing is, there's nothing else to do. You know why?
Money's nice though.
All your friends are off at school. So
my guess was COVID.
Oh man, that's the second answer. But
okay. It's like 1A, 1B now.
I mean, yeah. I mean, all your friends are off at school, so what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?
I know, man. There's only so much Xbox you can play. It's tough. Being at the gym by yourself. Like, don't get me wrong. I enjoy being at the gym by myself. Like, but it'd be nice to get a lift in with a friend. Or you just talk to a buddy between sets. I haven't had that I've had that interaction since before Thanksgiving. The closest interaction I've had to that is, the old man that you get at Planet Fitness that are just staring at a teenage boy trying to squat 300 pounds. Like just really, like, you're doing that here kind of look. I'm like, yeah, I'm a college athlete. Yes. But then on the right, you got some, teenage high school ego lifter, like terrible form on the bench, but hey, I just put up 200 pounds. Like,
hey, I think that brings us to another thing. Is Planet Fitness valid?
Yes, bro. Planet Fitness is valid for $9.99 or the black card. I think 19
No,
bucks a month. Yes, valid.
I will honestly, um, I'll be totally transparent about how much I pay, but I pay $40 a month for my gym membership. I mean, come to think about it,
Mhm.
I'm only there 4 months out of the year now,
Yep.
just because of what's
I
that?
used to do that though, man. I used to do that. I went to a big time gym like you where it's 25, 30 bucks and it's like real. It's a real
Hey,
gym. It's real everything. Like big time weights, big time everything. No Smith machines and crap, but I'm in Planet Fitness for the
yeah,
massages, man. The massages and it's a little bit cheaper. That black card, you get that massage bed, man.
and
It gets you right sometimes.
I respect it honestly.
I say I
I
don't got the
respect it.
athletic
If there
trainer on campus,
the
man.
closest thing
How
you don't
what
got Bill
what?
on campus.
Nah, man, I don't got Bill. Bill gets me right. We'll do the
Don't got
boots. We'll do STEM. Like, Bill will take care of me, man, and he'll take care of everybody, all the athletes. And we just don't have that at home. So it's just a matter of trying to
yeah,
survive
I mean,
sometimes.
it's just another factor of break being way too long.
Agreed.
Way too
Agreed.
long. I mean, you're having to do your own thing, man, and it just sucks when you can't be given like the thing that the college like provides to you, especially as a
Mhm.
college athlete. We have a lot more opportunity, I think, to get better and like better ourselves, like a good team environment. And
And we
it's
miss it.
no, I do miss it, honestly. It's just like there's only so much. I mean, it's cool for good 2 weeks,
Yeah,
but
like
you want to be in that like good environment, like where you're with your friends and like
mhm,
just bettering yourselves. And like as corny
yeah.
as it sounds, it's like the more you look at it, it's so true, man. Like
Mhm. I say college is great. If any older listeners who already graduated college, think about in your life. I guarantee you, your 4 years of college, 2 years, however, even if you were there for college as like a semester, I bet you enjoyed every bit of it. Or
yeah,
you at least enjoyed something about it. The social
yeah.
aspect at least. You know,
Mhm.
and now like we just can't have it. We're away from it from so much, and we just want to be able to enjoy these 4 years. If you're a younger guy, girl, whatever, high school, middle school, watching this somehow, congratulations, you found us. But college is awesome. Like, go
Yeah,
after it. Like,
no, it
small
is.
school, big school, it's going to be a great experience either way. And
Yeah.
this long break is kind of stealing that from us, like a little bit.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but this is just because of COVID, right?
Yeah, it is. As I say, rumor has it before. There's a tighter schedule, but next year, like our junior year or third year, it's gonna be that traditional college schedule. We go to like December 15th or 16th, I think. Like
Really?
basically right up to Christmas, and then we're back there like January 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
So I mean that's gonna be what? 15th, 16th, that's 2 weeks, 3 weeks, really, you know.
Hey,
But then you got to count in. Hopefully next year we report early for camp, for training camp, and maybe we get lucky.
that's another thing too. We I mean, we didn't have like a traditional preseason
We haven't had one yet, really.
compared to other schools, honestly.
Hmm.
Um, we had sort of similar. I mean, 2 days on the weekends,
Yeah,
um, which sucked in all honesty. But
for sure.
I mean, definitely not the traditional college, preseason training camp that everyone
Yeah,
dreads, I guess. So
yeah.
it
You
kind
love it,
of
like
nice,
you love it and hate it at the exact same time. You
yeah,
know.
right. Yeah, it's a good way to put it. Good way to put it for
Yeah.
sure.
And I was saying that's not even just for us, but that's D3, D2, D1, NAIA. And I imagine JUCO. JUCO as well. And so I know some
Mhm.
schools haven't even had seasons. Like, and of your 4 years, like, yeah, NCAA is going to give you a year back. Like, okay, I'll get my year back, but I got to fork out another $20,000 on education for a year, or something like that. So you're missing out
Yeah,
on opportunities that we've dreamt of since being little kids. Like, I want to be a college
yeah,
athlete playing whatever you do, you know? And then people
yeah,
getting
for
robbed
sure.
of senior seasons and stuff. Like, it's tough. Like, imagine being a
Man,
senior, like our last year, some of our seniors, like some of the field hockey people on our team saw it. But I'm sure there's other schools and other sports. You work all 3, 4 years, maybe you have a team, you got a squad, and like, this is our year to make a run for the championship. Everybody thinks, oh yeah, this is our year. But even somebody like legit, like this is our year, and just to get that robbed from you, it's tough.
hey man, I think that just last like school year in terms of the college athletics, just absolutely, it just wasn't. Yeah, I don't know. It was as like us being freshmen, that being our like first taste of like
Mhm.
college sports, definitely, definitely,
Unique.
did not meet my expectations for sure.
Yeah.
And that's no fault of like anyone, at
Mhm.
Earlham, any like I
Yeah.
don't know, HVAC representative, but it just
Just
it sucked, man. It did.
yeah, it's the world
No,
just throwing it at us. It's
it
force
sucked.
majeure. Greater than God, like it's COVID. Like it's still wrecking our lives 2 years later. You know,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
it's
sure.
wild. Like
Is
I hope that is the last regular season of college soccer ever played in the spring, ever. Because I don't want someone else to go through that. Because you're
oh
getting
no,
robbed of half your season. Basketball, your season got cut short, and everybody. College
yeah,
football in the spring, like everybody, like it's tough. Like
yeah, yeah. No, it
it's tough.
is. It is. And I mean, it's another like interesting thing too. I mean, a majority of D3, I'd say D2 as well.
Mhm.
Well, I'd say some D1 as well.
Mhm.
Had to play their sports in the spring, but you did see
Mhm.
some sports or some divisions, conferences
Yeah.
playing in the fall. I
Mhm.
mean, what do you
And
think of
it's even
that
some conference, yeah, and some
compared to
conferences even pulling out.
yeah,
Like it's seen it happen. I mean, they made it through. So I mean, it could have happened, but seeing schools pull out like the Ivy League. Harvard started it, and all the other Ivy League schools like we're not playing sports, but they just didn't value sports at the time. And I mean, it's crazy. Where Ivy Leagues are always their own, but what was scary in all of it was some of these kids losing scholarships. Maybe like losing money. If they football programs or college athletic programs might go under. you know, and no matter the division, sometimes there are kids that use their sport to get to school and get through school and kind of change their lives, and having that kind of taken away, it's sad to see.
mhm,
And college programs like your majors, your minors, and something like that going away. It's really rough to see. You can feel for some people.
for
It's
sure.
always like, dang, I have it rough. I have that. There's someone else that has it a little bit worse. And you just gotta feel for them. Like we're all trying to deal with this together.
Yeah,
But I mean, that's all you can kind of do.
it's a
I
great way
don't
of
know.
putting it. Great way
I
of
mean,
putting it, honestly.
it's tough. It's tough for everybody, and you just gotta kind of be there for each other. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
cliche and all. I mean, I'm sure people have heard that so much throughout the last 2 years and even longer. For whatever
yeah,
situation it was you dealt with growing up in life. But
yeah,
it's crazy.
yeah.
But
No, it is. It is. And I mean, do you remember like us starting out fall s- fall season and then
mhm.
where it got to at the end of fall?
Yeah,
I just think it's crazy how much like I don't know how much stuff changed and the attention we were getting at first, and how that all just kind of kind of died down after
yeah,
that one incident. But
for sure.
this is crazy. This is crazy. I don't know. And then we just see like D1 um, continue to play
Hmm.
and then you have examples of like the Ivy League schools pulling out and not participating in athletics. It was just a crazy year in general.
Yeah,
Crazy year for athletics for sure.
yeah. So
Crazy
like,
year.
what's crazier is too is like you had the opt in, opt out stuff, and people were playing. So like if I want to play, why not me? If kid the exact same age, the exact same sport, the exact same state, he's able to play. Why can't I play? And it just came down to school policies at that point. And you started seeing a lot of lines being drawn in the sand. And I think you're starting to see that in all forms of our life, where it goes politics, restaurants, life, social events. Like everyone's kind of drawing these lines and it's kind of dividing everybody. There's a time where we should kind of coming together a bit more, helping each other out. We're just drawing big lines and people are constantly making enemies,
Yeah.
Like it's just nonstop. It's nonstop. Enemy after
No,
enemy.
yeah. No, you're right. You're right.